home run that led Ohtani to a world title, sitting on the bench. But now, a miracle is happening in Boston that cannot be explained without him. Everyone is asking the same question. Why was Yoshida being sidelined? We look into that mystery today.
A great turnaround that began from 14 games under .500. The man at the center of it all.
Every Boston fan is saying the same thing right now. They are all asking why this man wasn't being used. As of July 28, 2026, the Red Sox are 55-50. Third in the AL East. They have secured the second wildcard spot, boasting an incredible 8-2 record in their last 10 games. It is fair to say this is a completely different team than the one buried at the bottom of the division early in the season. They have closed the gap to 7 games behind the division-leading Rays and hold the wild-card spot, leading the Seattle Mariners by 2 games. A scene that no one could have imagined right after opening day is now unfolding in Boston. As of that same July 28th, Yoshida's season stats are a .265 average, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 27 runs scored. Looking at the numbers alone, they aren't flashy, but if you knew how much of that production was packed into just 1 month, your impression would change completely. Baseball media outlet Fangraphs reported on this comeback, stating they have risen from the brink to join the wild card race. The local Boston Globe has also covered this surge daily, noting that the team's entire attitude has shifted. It all started on June 24th. On that day, the Red Sox were 32-46, a staggering 14 games under .500. They were 15.5 games behind the division-leading Yankees and 6 games out of the wild card, sitting in last place. It was practically assumed they would become sellers and trade away their stars before the deadline. Yet, the very next day, June 25th, the team quietly started to win. And they continued to stack up victories, unstoppable by anyone. June 27th, the fateful game against the Yankees. The opponent was Cy Young winner and ace pitcher Gerrit Cole. Stepping up to the plate as the leadoff hitter that day was designated hitter Masataka Yoshida. He caught Cole's fastball, launching his second home run of the season into the upper bullpen. The Red Sox went on to win the game 4-1. It was their third consecutive win against the Yankees. The next day, June 28th, the final game of the series. It became a tough situation when they couldn't hold a 2-run lead in the ninth, allowing the score to be tied, but Yoshida appeared as a pinch hitter in extra innings. He got on base with a double to the opposite field, which sparked a rally to tie and then take the lead, followed by Jarren Duran's walk-off hit. It was their first 4-game winning streak of the season, and it was the moment they achieved a 4-game sweep of the Yankees for the first time since 2018. The momentum didn't stop there. After the All-Star break, on July 17th, they faced the then first-place Rays. In the first game of a doubleheader that day, Yoshida went 3 for 5. Following a double, he crushed his 4th solo home run of the season just inside the right field foul pole, and in the 6th inning, a 16-hit big inning fueled a shutout victory for the team. It was a fierce onslaught with home runs from 4 different batters in this game alone. They also took the second game 5-3, reaching 11 consecutive wins. They finally wiped out their deficit, which they hadn't been able to reach since opening day, and after the season passed the midway point, they finally reached a .500 winning percentage. Then, 5 days later on July 22nd, they won the first game of a doubleheader against the Orioles 6-3, and their winning streak finally reached 15. This figure matches the longest winning streak recorded by the storied franchise that, back in 1946, featured legendary slugger Ted Williams and advanced all the way to the World Series. It was a massive record, ranking among the longest in all of Major League Baseball since the Cardinals' 17-game winning streak in 2021. The winning streak ended with a 5-1 loss in the second game that night, but from June 25th, they went 20-3 over 23 games. Looking at July alone, they went 15-2, a winning percentage unimaginable from the start of the season. The number 15 etched into the team record will move no further. From 14 games under .500 to a franchise record-tying 15-game winning streak. At the center of this dramatic turnaround was a man who was hardly counted on as a key player early in the season. During this surge, Yoshida was consistently used as a designated hitter, primarily in games started by right-handed pitchers. Interim manager Chad Tracy would not say much about this change, but the numbers spoke for themselves. Every time the man who should have been sidelined stepped up to the plate, the team kept winning. Everyone cannot help but harbor the same question. Why was a man capable of such performance kept on the bench for so long? Moreover, this man is not just a talented player. 3 years ago, wearing the Samurai Japan uniform in the showdown for the world title, he was the very person who reached base ahead of Ohtani, laying the foundation for that legendary championship. The Red Sox franchise is also the team that lost the sweepstakes for Ohtani twice. Ironically, the one saving this team from rock bottom now was the man who once led Ohtani to become a world champion. To know the reason, we must turn back the clock to just after the season started.
Sidelined for no reason.
For the first month of the season, the Red Sox were in a state of aimless wandering. As of April 26, they had 10 wins and 17 losses. Last in the AL East, a winning percentage of just .370. Following the previous offseason, after discord regarding the usage of Rafael Devers and Alex Bregman, Devers was traded away, and Bregman also left for the Cubs. The team's home run total sank to the bottom of the league, and the season, which began without proper reinforcement, was shrouded in endless struggles from the start. And behind that aimless wandering, Yoshida was quietly being sidelined. He had only appeared in 17 games at that time. Even on the day the team secured a 17-1 victory, his name was not on the starting lineup. Nevertheless, Yoshida continued to produce results whenever he was given a chance. On April 17th, sent in as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the extra inning against the Tigers, Yoshida hit a walk-off single through the infield. It was the first pinch hit walk-off since Mike Carp in 2014, a rarity in team history, and the first walk-off of Yoshida's MLB career. Despite that historic hit, there was no change to the starting lineup in the days that followed. Then manager Alex Cora spoke about his rotation decisions at the time. He suddenly found himself in this role. We are making the most of our deep roster, but it isn't easy. It was a cold remark for a player who kept delivering results. Then, on the night of April 25th, the team made an announcement that shocked the world. Manager Alex Cora was suddenly fired. For Yoshida, who had played under Cora since joining the team in 2023, the news was complicated. Simultaneously, hitting coach Peter Fatsi, third base coach Kyle Hudson, assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, and hitting strategist Joe Cronin were also dismissed. Game planning coordinator Jason Varitek was reassigned to a different role. The manager who led them to a World Series title in 2018 and almost his entire staff were replaced. It was an unprecedented shakeup for so early in the season. Owner John Henry stated,
Decisions like these are never easy. But this one is particularly difficult given what Alex has meant to the Red Sox.
He issued this statement personally. Veteran pitcher Garrett Whitlock said, "It was a huge shock." He repeated this, and it was reported that young player Roman Anthony also used the word shock many times. Veteran infielder Trevor Story also
could not hide his bewilderment, saying, "They were world-class coaches who cared about the team more than anyone. It feels like they weren't given a fair chance."
No text provided for segment 26 and source. Filler provided to match index. Many Japanese fans hoped that this would finally lead to Yoshida getting more playing time. However, the story did not proceed so simply.